Oh my gosh, this event was just so good. Like, all joking aside, I think FinalX New York has a lot to live up to after this FinalX in Stillwater. We had world medalists battling each other for spots, some massive changing of the guards at some weights, and a ton of amazing best of threes go the complete distance. And of course, what we love most here at TrueTan Wrestling was the awesome wrestling going on along with massive storylines developing. I think when the lineup was fully developed, we knew the potential that this event in Stillwater had, and it easily, and I mean easily, lived up to the hype. Now, I do know that there was some complaints about the event running too long and some other things that I really want to address, but first, welcome to TrueTan Wrestling. My name is Tanner, and this is the FinalX Stillwater recap. I previewed both FinalX events, so go check that out before FinalX New York on this Wednesday, June 8th. And if you end up loving the channel while you're checking out, we would love for you to hit that subscribe button, along with hitting the like button on this video if, well, you enjoy the recap. Now, I will cover all non-wrestling issues at the end of the video and summarize my thoughts of this event at the end of the video as well. So stick around and listen to me detail every series from FinalX Stillwater. Starting the video off, we look at Greco-Roman, and we start the event with technically an upset, I would say, but a fun one to watch develop for sure. Jones was the returning world team member, and after looking really solid and getting to his attacks in the first period of match 1, the tide quickly shifted to Thickley's favor, staying sharp and stealing match 1 from the returning world team member. Now, match 2 was not really the most high-scoring match out there, but Thickley would win a controlled and technically planned match to win 3-2 at the 63 kilogram spot and send himself to the World Championships. Thickley has had an up and down Greco career for sure. He was on the Olympic team in 2016, but down at 59 kilograms. But clearly changing to the Army Wrestling Club and having a coach like Spencer Mango along with the weight shift has really improved his game, plus being a guy like Jones was really impressive to watch. The next weight at 76 kilograms women had a really fun match 1 and then a pretty controlled match 2, with Guilford taking the spot to the world team. Based on her press conference speech and her wrestling, she has really been making some serious changes to her wrestling and improving a lot of aspects. McCoy, however, did wrestle her best and will be a top 3 competitor at the weight for a long time in my opinion. I think Guilford just has the upper hand on her for now at least, winning the first match 10-5 and kind of a back and forth affair, and then steaming to a 12-2 tech win to make the world team. It was also fun to see NAIA champ versus NCAA champ at least. I thought it was kind of interesting. It is also key to note that Adeline Gray is not competing this year due to having a kid, actually twins for that fact, and I've mentioned that before, but just in case people haven't seen those other recaps or previews, that's where our returning world champ is. The third weight contested was a rematch at 130 kilograms Greco-Roman between Schultz and Farmer. I'm expecting Adam Kuhn to be done on the Greco scene, so I think Schultz could have this spot for a very long time, and being at Sunkissed Kids will really make him better and better as the years go on. He truly has the build and attacks to be a solid Greco guy, which he has proven year over year now, I guess. If Farmer could grow one more aspect of his game, I think he could really make himself better and really threaten Colin to make this a serious rivalry. However, Schultz won the series in 2 matches, with winning 5-1 and then 5-2, and the only other thing I really have to mention is that Colin Schultz has a scary strong gut wrench for heavyweights, so look out the rest of the world. Then we have our first 3-match series that was contested, and of course it was everyone's favorite rivalry, Jordan Oliver versus Zane Rutherford, now at 70 kilograms. The first period of match 1 was pretty slow and JO versus Zane like, not many attacks going on, but the match would really pick up in the second period with a lot more scores, and would you believe Zane would win this first match 8-3 after throwing Jordan Oliver out of bounds, from Jordan Oliver really pushing with double unders in the neutral body lock position. Then in match 2, Zane would go to finish a shot and Jo would pick his ankle and use some impressive funk to score a 2-point score and then circle his way into match 3, winning match 2 5-4. And then entering match 3, the tension was unbelievably high. Zane would win this match 4-3, and there was some controversy with some caution scores, but at the end of the day, it will only fuel JO for the future. But for now, Zane won the series and is going to compete at 70 kilograms, and man, what a great series here. Then we had another best of 3 go the full long haul, with Benji Peak really backing up his awesome press conference dialogue to knock off a longtime USA Greco star and Pat Smith. Peak probably could have ended this series in 2, but after giving up a 4-pointer, he needed to rally off 2 wins. And to be honest, it really blows for Pat Smith, but Peak seriously put his money where his mouth is, and he has been grinding, so good for him for making the world team at 72 kilograms Greco. Plus, this dude is pretty fun to watch at times, and you know, we love storylines here at TrueTan Wrestling, and that's what Peak creates, so we're gonna love it regardless. 59 kilograms for the women had a young up-and-comer who keeps growing in Bashman take on a sort of veteran wrestler in Abby Nettie. Overall, I thought there was some cool exchanges in these matches, but Nettie basically controlled all of match 1, and Bashman made match 2 sort of interesting, but she still has a long time to grow at Texas Wesleyan, and Nettie has clearly gotten way better at Army, so maybe a fun rivalry to see form in the summers. 82 kilograms, we had another not so competitive match between longtime Greco stud Ben Provisor versus pretty young Spencer Woods. Fun fact, actually, the first Greco match I ever watched was when Provisor made the Olympic team, and this dude is still winning spots, which is pretty impressive considering his age and some ups and downs in his career for sure. Overall though, Provisor tech Woods in match 1, and then won a controlled match 2 5-3 to make another world team. And I think Woods wrestled pretty fine. He's still relatively young, and he's at a good wrestling club, so he can continue to grow as a Greco star for years to come. Now for all the people who say I'm a Thomas Gilman lover in the comments, well, here we are, men's 57 kilograms freestyle, and how do you not love Thomas Gilman after seeing this performance? Like, wow, did he look amazing. He not only beat someone who really pushed him in the Olympic trials finals, but that person also has a lot of age level medals, but he absolutely smashed that opponent and looks like he's a really good competitor to win the world championships again. Vito Araujo really tried to put up a fight, and at moments he looked pretty well, but he would drop 2 matches by tech fall, 12-2 and then 14-2. And this just kind of goes to show how good Thomas Gilman can look when he's this sharp and this healthy. Also interesting to note, Thomas Gilman also mentioned his move to Penn State and having a child during the press conference. So that was interesting to hear, and it sounds like he's kind of a different person, honestly. I don't really know how to describe it, but it sounds like everything in his life is coming together to really help his wrestling out. Also, props to Vito Araujo for taking on the massive juggernaut of Thomas Gilman at the 57 kilogram spot, and Vito's no slouch and he will continue to get better and better. Then we stay with the little guys in the 55 kilogram Greco rematch in Coons versus Nowry. The only points scored here were 1-point passivity calls, and unfortunately Coons always got the first point and Nowry would get the last 1-pointer to win both matches by criteria 1-1 and 1-1, which kind of goes to show how well these two know each other and how razor thin their matches are. Like, seriously, a 2-pointer could basically give them the victory. However, Nowry still holds a rivalry and the 55 kilogram spot for now. Coons is in a good RTC for Greco though, so never count him out against anyone else in the field. Now we are heading into the final stretch of the Stillwater event, and the majority of these matches really picked up the intensity and had some promise that absolutely delivered. Let's start with the 10th series of the night in Fix versus Gross, which I remember Dayton's freshman year at Oklahoma State. The anticipation for that South Dakota State duel was absolutely crazy, but the college match unfortunately never happened. We would have to wait until 2021 to see this match where Fix would win by tech fall, but this rivalry was far from over because I think Seth Gross is one of the best wrestlers at making adjustments the more he wrestles someone. And I mean, just look at his resume. He lost to DeSano back in college and then came back to beat him, lost to Megaludis and then comes back to dramatically beat him at the US trials, along with a couple other scenarios, so he clearly has great stuff. But let's move into this series that went the absolute distance where we saw all 3 matches contested. Fix would win match 1 by the absolute skin of his teeth on a criteria victory, and at that exact moment, I knew and several others knew that we had something special with this series. I mean, Gross just lost to a returning world medalist by criteria, so yeah, we knew this series was about to pick up. Then Gross would execute a great plan to beat Fix 5-4 in match 2 and push an excellent match 3, where Seth Gross would make a few adjustments, but he would come from behind to make the 61 kilogram world team, which is insane because Fix looked scary good at last year's Worlds, but Gross shut him down, and good for Seth Gross because he is a grinder, and if you can beat a returning world silver medalist, you deserve to be on the world team. Then, unfortunately, in our next match, which I was super excited for, having 2 world medalists battling out, would end in a second match injury, with Jenna Burkett suffering a neck injury, which was super sad to see, and I heard she is doing better, so that's really great. It is super unfortunate, especially with her leading the series, but Winchester will now look to win another world title. I wish Jenna the best of luck healing, and I know she'll come back stronger, and it was really awesome to see the wrestling community get behind her and send her all those prayers, so I know she'll come back great. After the unfortunate injury match, we would jump into another solid men's freestyle rematch, with Nate Jackson handing Jaden Cox his first 92kg domestic defeat ever in match 2 of the series, implementing a great adjustment, but at the end of the day, Cox would win match 1 and 3, but Jackson for sure pushed him to the edge. Jaden Cox also looked absolutely incredible during match 3 though, and I don't know if anyone could have beat him at that moment. 65kg women's was another super matchup between two returning medalists. Molinari, our returning world medalist, would get pretty controlled and beat by Velti in match 1, which was surprising considering the defensive strength of Molinari. However, we would see that defensive strength of Molinari used in match 2 for her to get the victory there, but I will say this, that match was stopped a ton due to blood time on Velti, so that could have played a factor in momentum. I bring up the topic of momentum because there was almost no stops on Velti getting a first period tech fall over the returning bronze medalist to put herself back on the world team. And I've said it once and I'll say it again, the Beaver Dam RTC has something special going on that is truly elevating their females right now to the next level. Then we ended our night in Oklahoma with two USA superstars. At 97kg, Kyle Snyder would win the spot for like the millionth time, having a rematch against Colin Moore from the Olympic trials, who announced he is not going back down to 92kg since 97 is the Olympic weight. Like I said, Snyder really controlled both wins by tech fall, and besides a small dump by Moore to score his only 2 points, it was all Kyle Snyder. The last match was at 68kg for the women, and Tamara Mensah-Stock winning 2 matches to none by tech fall over young up-and-comer Ramirez. To be honest, Ramirez looked alright for her age and facing an Olympic champ and multiple world medalists. She clearly can be a huge threat at the weight as she grows in my opinion, but for now she's just stuck in second place. Overall, if you couldn't tell from my excitement, this event was just awesome. I think New York has the potential to be a little better, but I don't know. This Stillwater event was just crazy. But New York has Taylor versus Heat along with some other studs like Burroughs Wrestling. But this event just had competitive match after match after match that were just fun to watch and just sit down and examine. We had 2 women's matches with returning medalists battling it out. We had a ton best of 3s go to distance, which is great free wrestling. The gross upset might be the shockwave of the freestyle season, and there was so much great wrestling from all 3 styles in general. In my opinion, the men and women that made the world team, especially our returners, look like they're ready to go and win it all. And this is the year to do it, especially on the men's side with no Russia competing. But let's see how they do in New York, I guess, before I make that prediction. I just hope it lives up or beats the great action in Stillwater. Now to address the event running too late into the night problem, well, all I gotta say is what really do you want them to do? Yes, why did they start at 3 then take a 2-hour break till 8 o'clock? Well, I'm assuming they were trying to get that primetime start, which honestly I did not mind. It was awesome wrestling, so it more than made up for it. Also, those UFC cards go so late. It felt normal, I guess, to me just because of that fact. Plus, it was a Friday night, so kind of cool. Now, the Wednesday night in New York City is kind of weird in my opinion, but you were talking to an overly positive YouTuber here, so yeah, what do you expect? Like, one time a commenter asked me if I owned a mirror because my hair was a little crazy, I guess, and this is what I said, so yeah, I don't really get angry too often, especially when there's great wrestling on. Either way, all Twitter nitpicks aside, also side note, go follow me on there and Instagram. If you enjoyed FinalX Stillwater as much as me, consider hitting that like button or subscribing to the channel, along with commenting your favorite match or moments. Look out for the New York City recap. I hope to see you all in that video, and for now, that's all I have to say, so have a nice day everyone, and take care.